In 508 BC, a man walked into an enemy king's tent. He sat down at a dinner table, pulled out a knife, stabbed the wrong person. Then, when the Real king threatened to burn him alive, he did something nobody expected. He beat him to it. To understand why, you need to know what Rome looked like in 508 BC. It was not an empire. It was barely a city. For 200 years, Rome had been ruled by kings. Then, just 1 year earlier, they threw the last one out. His name was Tarquin the Proud. He earned that name. The Romans were so sick of kings they banned the word permanently. They called themselves a republic. It felt incredible. For about 5 minutes. Because Tarquin went straight to his friend Lars Porsenna, king of the Etruscans, the most powerful force in the region, and asked for his army. Lars Porsenna said yes. By 508 BC, the Etruscan army had Rome surrounded. No food was getting in. People were starting to starve. Inside the city, a young Roman named Gaius Mucius had a plan. It was not a good plan. It was a desperate plan. Which in Rome, was basically the same thing. He went to the Senate and said, "Let me sneak into the enemy camp and kill Porsenna." The Senate said, "Sure." What did they have to lose? He snuck across the enemy lines armed with a knife and a very confident face. The Etruscan camp was chaotic. It was payday. Thousands of soldiers were gathered around a table where 2 men sat. One was clearly important, fine clothes, elaborate hat. Mucius picked the important-looking one and stabbed him. Wrong man. He had killed the king's secretary, who had been wearing better clothes that day. Porsenna was standing right next to him. The guards grabbed Mucius immediately and dragged him before the king. Porsenna was furious. He demanded to know who sent him. He pointed to a burning brazier nearby, a bowl of red-hot coals, and threatened to throw Mucius into it unless he talked. Mucius looked at the fire. Then he looked at the king. Then he put his right hand directly into the burning coals. And held it there. He didn't scream. He didn't flinch. He stared at Porsenna, completely calm, while his hand burned. Porsenna was horrified. He ordered the hand pulled out. Mucius, still calm, now missing a hand, explained himself. He said, "I am one of 300 Roman citizens who have all sworn to kill you. We drew lots. I went first. The others will keep coming until one of us succeeds. You can't watch your back forever." This was either completely true, or a complete bluff. History doesn't say. Porsenna stared at this man who had just burned his own hand off in front of him. He made a decision. He freed Mucius. He lifted the siege. He packed up his entire army and left. Rome was saved. By a bluff. And a hand. Mucius went home a hero. The Senate gave him land across the Tiber, a stretch of ground that would forever be called the Mucian Meadows. And they gave him a new name. Since he no longer had a right hand, they called him Scaevola. It means lefty. The man who saved Rome went down in history as the lefty. Which is exactly the kind of detail that makes you think maybe the Romans had a sense of humor after all. In 508 BC, the most powerful army in the region packed up and went home. Because one Roman held his hand in fire and said there were 299 more where he came from. The sea didn't notice when Xerxes whipped it. But Lars Porsenna? He noticed.